Hi, Internet viewers. This is Frank Rauscher again. The wren itself has been sprayed with the Krylon Spray 51301. And like I had stated, the Krylon company had changed that number again. So if you're looking for that Krylon spray, I do have it if anybody needs it. It originally started out as 1301, and now it's 51301, and now it's changed one more time. So I did spray it about 6 inches away. This got a little, you can see it's a little darker. I sprayed it all over, made sure it looked like wet. And just to give you an idea, here's one that I started, but it's not quite as finished as this one here, and you can see the color differences. So I just wanted to show you the spray does tone it down some and gives it a tanner color to it. So we're going to start with this, and remember we had brushed all this out before we sprayed it. Now the beak itself has a glaze on it from the spray. So what I'm going to ask you to do, I'm going to move the camera down. I'll show you. I'm going to start the steps as far as priming this. We're going to prime it white, but before that, we're going to do something with the beak. So bear with me. I'm going to move the camera down so you can see everything, and then we'll proceed on with that, and I'll show you how to mix the acrylic paint and everything else to get you there, okay? So bear with me, and I'll be right with you. Okay, we're back again. And what I want to do before we get started, I'm moving all my paint equipment out of here for the moment. I'm just going to get the sandpaper again and lightly just go over the beak, because when you paint, especially on top of the super glue, that paint dries right on there, and if you put acrylic paint on there, it's going to beat up, and we may even get a little bit of that anyway along the way. But this way we can get it to adhere a lot easier if you just smooth this out. And again, I'm just doing the beak itself, just going over it very lightly just to get the glaze out, okay? Just like that. So now I'm going to bring a cup. These are the paint trays, and if you're in need of any of them, I carry them as well. I'm going to get, I'm using Liquitex, but anybody's acrylic paint will do. And what I'm going to do, this is titanium white. I'm going to get a little bit of titanium white, maybe about a pea size, into the cup. Then I'm going to fill the cup up with about 3/4 of water. I'm going to get a brush, and what I use most of the time as far as the brush goes is I have these synthetic brushes, and I find that they work out excellent for what we're doing now. This is ideal. It's easy cleaning, and if you need brushes, I have real inexpensive brushes. These here aren't that expensive, and I probably sell most of these brushes for like a couple dollars, and they really hold up well. And when we do our detailing, I do have some sable brushes. They're a few bucks more, but they hold their point really well. And the thing I'm trying to do now is stir this up very well so that you can see how the buildup is still there. I'm going to move this into another tray here and try to get the heavy stuff out like this. And then I'll add a little more water to this. Not that I need it, but I'm just getting that out of there so that we have a nice mix. This will be a little more watered down, and we will start with the watered down one. I got a paper towel, which is ideal for this, so that you can control it. I'm just going to roll to get some of the paint off of there, the heavy stuff that may have clinged onto that. I'm going to pick up my paint, take the excess off, and here we go. I'm going to start, let's go with the beak. I'm going to paint the beak and everything else with it. But I grabbed the beak only in a sense. Now, I'm flushing this on, but I'm spreading it. I don't want it to just sit there. It's watered down, so it's not like it's getting just sitting there. I'm spreading it. I'm trying to get a nice even coat, and I'm putting that all the way through here. And I hold the tail to last so that I can control this. And I'm going to go in. And this seems a little, it's part of what you need to do to really make it come together. And the paints I use as washes mainly to build up. And you want, if you notice, you will notice, I should say, when this starts to dry, I'm just going back on that beak again because it looked like it didn't take the first time. I'm trying to cover everything uniformly on the first coat here. And again, it's not a heavy coat. Okay, I've tried to get this somewhat watered down initially, and then we'll see where we're at. So I'm going to get this coated all the way up to the tail and the rump here. And before I do the tail feathers, and don't concern yourself about the eye. The eyes, you can paint right over them. That's not a problem. When that dries, it'll come clean. Okay, so I'm trying to make sure I got a nice even coat over everything, and I got that right there. So that looks pretty good. Don't worry about the beak. Like I said, that always tends to want to build up. And something I forgot to do that I should have had before I started here. And if you will bear with me 1 second, I gotta get a hairdryer out. Okay, so back again. I'm going to set this down for a second here. I may have to, let me put this in a cup that doesn't have paint. I have my hair dryer ready to go here. And I didn't. Thought I had one out here, but apparently not. So, it's good to have a hair dryer handy. And I'm going to turn this on, so bear with me with the noise. I'm going to use the hair dryer, keep it away from your paint in the tray, and do it off to the side. And what I want to do dry this thoroughly before I start doing the tail. And the main thing that you're going to see happen as this dries, it may not go on so even on the first coat, but we were going to give it a second coat. But as you notice, as it dries, you see the ghosting that comes through from the burn? That's going to show. Well, we want to do so much of that on here. And I'm going to shut this off. That's a noisemaker and a half. I'm going to grab the beak. Yeah, it seems like it's dry. I'm going to grab just the head part here. And I'm going to come in with this. And I'm going to do the tail. And I'm coming down in here, get the edges, get the back, right up through. You want to get all around, top, bottom, sideways, you name it. And make sure you get a nice even coat across there. Here. Okay. Now, I'm going to aim this over this way. Bear with me here. I'm going to make some noises. Oh, maybe not. Let's see. All right. We have difficulties. Let me get another hairdryer. For some odd reason, that one didn't want to work. And we have one more. Some of my hair dryers are getting as old as me, and just like everything else, I don't know how well I'm working sometimes, and I apologize for the interruption here. We have another hair dryer. Here we go. So what I'm trying to do is get the tail dry pretty good so I can hold the tail again, because we're going to repeat this process one more time here. Maybe more than one more time, but at least for the starters here. Sorry I didn't have that in camera. I'm trying to just keep it away from my paint spray. When you're blowing it, you want to do it off to the side so you don't start drying the paint on the brush or your in the cup, the paint spray, I should say. So I'm going to stop that right now. I think we're pretty dry. So here we go again. I'm going to go to my other mix, which was more heavier mix. And I'm going to come in again, right onto the beak. And I'm pushing all the paint. And if your mix is even heavier than mine, I would like you to spread that paint so it's not bunching up in one spot, okay? Because I'm not really looking to what I call paint the porch. This is all watered down. This is basically like a wash. So what I'm trying to do is just get some paint on, and I want some of the burning that we have on here still to show through, okay? So let me come up through here. Now the breast area I'm not concerned with, because we want that as white as we can get right in this area here. and that's fine. And you can see the beak, it's not grabbing that well because of the super glue that's in there, even with me sanding that down, but that's okay. We will overcome that. That's not a problem. My main concern is the body, and we'll get the beak later if it doesn't grab completely. I don't have a problem with that. I'll go back and hit it again, but that is not going to affect us that much at all. I want to make sure I'm getting right up to the tail, and that looks like a nice even coat all the way around, okay? Now, let me use the hair dryer again. Now I'm keeping you in the direction so that you can see me drying this, but at the same time I'm trying to keep it away from the paint and the paint spray, because you don't want to go blowing through that or on your paintbrush. You're not trying to dry that. So I usually would do this off to the side, but I wanted to have you see this on camera, that I am drying the bird, and I don't want it near the mixed paint that we have in a paint spray, okay? Now, we're giving this 2 coats. One was a lighter coat and one was a little heavier, and you can still see the markings that are on the head and back in the back right in here, and that's fine. That's what we want. And I'm going to try to basically stop what we're doing as far as the coating. And what I'm going to do now is do the tail like we did before. We're repeating this. So I'm going to come up here. And you want to make sure before you go fingering this that it's dry, okay? You want to make sure. So I'm going into what is sort of like considered the heavier mix, where this was a little more watered down. And I'm just coming in here, getting all the edges. Make sure that it's not globbed on there. That is the key. It's a wash we're trying to project on here, and that's what I want to see. I want to be able to let this show through. As you can see here, we can still identify those markings, and we do want to show through because we're going to put some paint on top of this that reflects the colors that we need as a final coating here. So that's what we're trying to achieve. This is going to show through, and that's what we want. Now, in the breast area, what I want to try to do is come in here, not up in the burn area, but just below it. I'm going to come in with the white again. And we're going with the heavier one now. And I'm just doing the breast area, okay? So you can see the breast area is really getting white, and that goes right up to the wing. And that'll be fine. So that's what we're trying to achieve right there. And this will dry a little lighter, just like this. This is just wet. This is dry, this is wet. And that's what we want to see. We want a look like this. I'm not concerned in the wings as I am in the head and back in the coverts here, the wing coverts, or the tail coverts here, I should say. And then just to help a little bit more, you're starting to notice that maybe the second and third coat's starting to take over onto the beak, and that's fine. So I'll give that a swipe, and that should accomplish that. So what I want you to do is to get this look with the acrylic white paint, and that will be where we're at, okay? And like I said, in the breast area here, you can get this pretty white just in the breast feathers here, okay? And that's good. Now, I want you to let that dry, and then on the next video, I'm going to start showing you the markings that we need to put on here so that when we put the washes over top, we'll be right where we need to be. So I hope you got something out of this video, and if you have the patience, I wish you would, we will make this bird come alive, okay? And so this is the first stage of the painting, and I would, and it's actually part of the sealing of it too, to prep it. This is the priming of it, okay? So I hope you got something out of this one. If you did, I'd ask you to give me a thumbs up. And if you would subscribe to my channel, I'd appreciate that too. And I'll see you on the next video, and we'll be starting to mark everything out on here, okay? So appreciate you watching again, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you again. Bye now.